Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will make you question everything. Story 1. My friend called his dog a service animal, I called him out. So my friend's been dragging his so-called service dog everywhere, and I finally had to tell him the truth, it's just badly trained. Let me explain this mess. One of my friends, he's 24, started taking his dog literally everywhere about a year ago. And I mean everywhere, restaurants, stores, you name it. He calls it his service dog. Now look, I know he has anxiety, and I don't usually pry into people's business because I'd rather just go with the flow and move on. But this situation has gotten completely out of hand. At first, nobody in our friend group really cared about him bringing his dog when we'd go out. We figured, whatever makes him comfortable, right? But after some time, everybody started getting really annoyed because this dog is absolutely not trained like a service animal should be. This thing jumps on people constantly, barks at random stuff, gets distracted by everything, and honestly acts like any regular pet dog. Real service dogs are supposed to be calm, focused, and completely unobtrusive. They're trained for years to ignore distractions and only respond to their handler's needs. This dog? It's the complete opposite. The breaking point came when we went to a nice restaurant last weekend. The dog was whining, trying to get food from other tables, and even knocked over someone's drink. The staff was clearly uncomfortable but didn't want to say anything because he claimed it was a service animal. That's when I realized how unfair this whole situation was, not just to us, but to people who actually need legitimate service dogs. After we left the restaurant, I pulled him aside and told him straight up that his dog isn't a service animal, it's just badly trained. I explained that real service dogs go through extensive training and certification, and that bringing an untrained pet into places where animals aren't normally allowed is actually illegal in most places. He got really defensive and said I didn't understand his anxiety and that the dog helps him feel better. I told him I get that pets can be emotional support, but that doesn't make them service animals, and there's a huge legal and ethical difference. Now he's barely talking to me, and some of our other friends think I was too harsh. They say I should have just minded my own business. But honestly, I think someone needed to say something. It's not fair to businesses, other customers, or people with real service animals to abuse the system like this. Plus, what if his untrained dog hurts someone or causes a real service dog to get distracted from their job? Was I wrong to call out my friend's fake service dog, or did someone need to finally tell him the truth? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I wake up every night with our baby, and I'm the dad. So I'm apparently the asshole for being the one who wakes up at night to take care of my daughter, and honestly, I'm confused about how that even makes sense. When my daughter was born, she went through the usual phase of crying all night like babies do. My wife had a really rough pregnancy, so sometimes she just wouldn't wake up when our daughter cried. I've always been a light sleeper though, so I'd automatically wake up and handle whatever was needed, rocking her, maybe preparing a warm bottle, changing her diaper, just soothing her back to sleep. I never said anything to my wife about this arrangement because I figured she would wake up sometimes when I didn't, so there'd be some kind of natural balance between us. It seemed like the normal thing to do as new parents figuring things out together. One time we went out with some friends, and somehow the conversation turned to parenting and sleep schedules. My wife mentioned how I always get up with the baby at night, and all our friends started giving me these looks like I was some kind of saint or amazing husband. They kept praising me for being so involved and considerate. Honestly, it felt weird getting all this praise for just taking care of my own kid. That's when my wife pulled me aside later and told me she felt embarrassed and like I was making her look like a bad mother. She said that by always jumping up to handle the night duties, I was making it seem like she wasn't doing her part or wasn't maternal enough. I tried to explain that I wasn't trying to show off or make her look bad, I was literally just responding to our crying baby because I woke up first. It's not like I was elbowing her awake and then dramatically sighing while getting up to make some kind of point. I genuinely thought I was being helpful and letting her rest after everything her body went through during pregnancy and childbirth. But she thinks I should wake her up instead of just handling it myself, even when she's sleeping deeply and clearly needs the rest. She says it makes her feel useless as a mother when other people hear that I'm the one always getting up at night. Now I'm second-guessing everything. Should I really be waking up my exhausted wife just so it looks more balanced to other people? Or should I start letting the baby cry longer to see if she wakes up naturally first? The whole thing seems backwards to me. I thought being an involved dad was supposed to be a good thing, not something that makes me an asshole. Am I really wrong for just taking care of my daughter when she needs me at night? Story 3. My stepdad keeps threatening to get rid of my 8 tarantulas. So my stepdad has decided he's now the boss of my 8 tarantulas, and he keeps threatening to take them to the pet shop whenever he's mad at me. This whole situation is driving me absolutely crazy. I'm 21 and I spend most nights at my partner's place, but I come back every single morning to clean my stepdad's house and take care of my much younger siblings. You'd think that would be enough, right? Wrong. My stepdad, who's 59, has somehow appointed himself as the sole caretaker of my tarantulas while I'm away. But here's the thing, he doesn't actually want to take care of them. Instead, he uses them as leverage against me. Every time he thinks I'm not doing enough around the house, his go-to threat is that he's going to take my tarantulas to the pet shop and get rid of them. It doesn't matter what I do or how much I help out. He always finds something to complain about when it comes to me. But the really frustrating part? He never complains about his biological daughter the same way. She can do whatever she wants, but somehow I'm always falling short of his expectations. These aren't just random pets to me, I've put a lot of time, money, and care into these tarantulas. Each one has specific needs, feeding schedules, and habitat requirements. I know exactly how to take care of them, and I do it properly when I'm there. But having someone constantly hold them over my head as punishment is incredibly stressful. The worst part is that I don't think he'd actually know how to properly care for them if something happened. Tarantulas aren't like dogs or cats, they need specific temperatures, humidity levels, and feeding routines. If he actually followed through on his threat and took them to a pet shop, I don't even know if they'd find good homes or if they'd just sit there indefinitely. I feel like I'm stuck in this impossible situation where I'm already doing a ton of work around the house and helping with my siblings, but it's never enough. And now my beloved pets are being used as pawns in this weird power struggle. I've tried talking to him about it, but he just doubles down and acts like I'm being ungrateful for living there, even though I contribute way more than his own daughter does. Recently, he made the threat again over something completely minor, and I finally snapped and told him I wasn't going to keep dealing with this. Now there's this whole tension in the house, and I'm wondering if I should just try to move my tarantulas somewhere else entirely. Is it wrong for me to refuse to put up with these constant threats about my pets? Story 4. I'm hosting a party and want to serve fake Diet Coke. So I'm about to serve off-brand Diet Coke at a party, and my girlfriend thinks I'm completely insane. Let me paint you the picture of this ridiculous dilemma that's somehow taken over my life. My girlfriend and I are hosting this Memorial Day potluck tomorrow, and we're expecting somewhere between 40 to 60 people. It's going to be huge. We told everyone it's BYOB, but we're providing all the mixers and soft drinks. Between people who don't drink alcohol and everyone making mixed drinks, we know we're going to go through an absolutely massive amount of soda. Here's where it gets interesting. A while back, we ended up with this 12-pack of Aldi brand Diet Coke because of an Instacart order when they were out of the real stuff. We also have a couple of 2-liter bottles and some regular cans of actual name brand Diet Coke, but definitely not enough for the whole party. My brilliant idea was to just put out the off-brand stuff along with everything else and see if anyone even notices. I mean, it's going into mixed drinks mostly, right? How different could it really taste when it's mixed with rum or whiskey? But my girlfriend is acting like I suggested serving expired milk. She thinks it's going to be this huge embarrassment and that people will judge us for being cheap. She wants to go buy more Real Diet Coke, which honestly is going to cost us a fortune when we multiply it by how much we actually need. I'm looking at this from a practical standpoint. We're already spending a ton of money hosting this party, providing all the mixers, cups, ice, and everything else. Most people are going to be drinking alcohol anyway, and the ones who aren't probably won't care that much about whether their soda is name brand or not. Plus, we're not trying to trick anyone. It's not like I'm planning to pour the off-brand stuff into real Coca-Cola bottles. It would just be sitting there with everything else. My girlfriend thinks this makes us look like we don't care about our guests or that we're being stingy. But I think it's wasteful to throw away perfectly good soda just because it doesn't have the right logo on it. It's the exact same type of drink, just made by a different company. At what point did we decide that brand names matter more than just having enough drinks for everyone? The whole thing seems so silly to me, but she's genuinely stressed about it. She's worried people will talk about it afterwards or think less of us as hosts. I keep telling her that anyone who would judge us for serving off-brand soda probably isn't someone we want as a friend anyway. Would you really care if you went to a party and the Diet Coke wasn't name brand? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.